me! Move me out!
You will go one-on-one with The Undertaker!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hit the Books, the only weekly realistic fantasy booking podcast in the universe. I am your host, as always, Ryan Knightsey, and with me, as always, is the man of 1,000 nicknames, Mikey Manfredi. Mikey, how are you doing, my friend?
That's me. I'm the man of 1,000 nicknames.
Yes, you are. You've been bestowed that title after having all the other titles, which of 1,000 of them.
1,000. There were so many. What were some like classic nicknames you've given me since when we used to do that bit?
Mikey, dead man, Freddy walking.
That was a good one.
I think also last man, Freddy standing.
Yes.
There was a lot of it was a lot of like puns off of the man part.
Mm-hmm.
I think there might have been like member of the Spirit Squad, Mikey Manfredi.
I feel like Mikey the Manfredi was one of them at one point.
100%. I did like a billion puns off of the man portion of your name because obviously that's the go-to right there.
Mm-hmm.
I almost definitely did. If you got to be the man, you got to beat the man, Freddy.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's just great.
Some throwbacks for sure. Some classics.
I don't remember. Maybe there was like the Taco Bell Kid or something.
The Taco Bell Kid. That's gonna be my new in-ring name.
that's like that should be your new Twitter. Like the Twitter name.
The Taco Bell Kid.
Yeah. The Taco Bell Kid. There was 1,000 of them. I can't remember all of them at this current.
That's my wrestler persona is just named Fourth Meal.
Oh man, that's actually not bad. What's the finisher move for the Fourth Meal?
Oh, when the ref's not looking, I put a quesarito on the ground to make them trip on it.
Like a banana peel almost.
Like a banana peel, but a quesarito, but much beefier and more messy.
And then, of course, your tag team partner would be Alex Zane from the independent scene, who his Twitter profile is him sitting in a bathtub of Taco Bell tacos.
Heyo.
I think you have much to talk about. Oh, Alex Zane. Alex Zane's great.
Just hit people with Crunchwrap Supremes.
Oh, that's a Crunchwrap Supreme. Honestly, should it's your finisher. Right? That's got to be your finisher because that's the great name for a finisher. The Crunchwrap Supreme.
The Crunchwrap Supreme.
I don't know what.
Let's Crunchwrap this matchup.
What is it? I mean, that also could be a tag team. Their tag team name for you and Alex Zane could be the Crunchwrap Supremes.
The Crunchwrap Supreme.
That's not bad. But what's the move attached to the Crunchwrap Supreme? It sounds like some sort of submission hold. Or some sort of
the crunch slap Supreme.
Oh, God,
that was bad.
I think it's gotta be.
It does sound like a submission hold though, like the crunch wraps, like the Crunchwrap Supreme. You just like wrap them up and make them you make them look like a crunch wrap.
Maybe it's like a slam, like a Blue Thunder Bomb kind of like driver move, because you gotta get that crunch in there as well. And the Supreme is just the flashiness that goes along with it.
So it's just a fancy Blue Thunder Bomb.
Or some sort of like Fisherman Buster or some sort of thing. I don't know. What am I? We've done this gimmick before where we try to come up with moves like from the move name itself, and the canon of the show is that I'm bad at it and you're good at it. So I don't know what to tell you on this one, friend. But yeah.
I mean, I feel like it has to be like a slam into a submission.
Oh, that's something.
Because it's like it's the crunch wrap, so like you crunch with the slam and then you wrap
kind of like the
up
bank
with a submission
statement
hold.
a little bit.
Yeah, like a slam into a submission.
So if we're
hold.
doing the okay, so we do like a Kenny Omega's Kreutz Wrath or whatever it's called, something kind of like that.
You know what a crunch. This is gonna sound weird, but you know what a Crunchwrap Supreme kind of reminds, in some terms of submission hold, like kind of is like almost like a cattle mutilation because it's like how the back folds in. You're like folding their arms back like that.
Interesting.
You know, and like their legs, like you're like kind
and
of.
How do we go from a slamming move into?
Oh, I have absolutely no idea. Because the cattle mutilation is such a hard submission hold to set up in the first place.
I was going to type it in to remember what it looked like. And I'm actually, you know what? Not going to type that in. I'm not going to type it into Google. Because I don't want to.
I'm sure if you just put submission hold afterwards, it'll help your results not be disgusting.
The first thing is cattle mutilation WWE.
Thank goodness.
Oh, man. I feel like I've seen somebody, might have been Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan does it.
Might have been Asuka that did it. But I remember seeing someone that sort of like flipped into it instead of like doing like the setups of the move. They just sort of like, they had the guy in their stomach or something and then flipped them into it.
Oh, that's not what I thought it was. What's the one where you? Oh man, now I look stupid. But now I am the fool. What's that one where you like have them in the air, and you have all four of their limbs? What is that?
Have them in the air, and you have all.
Where
four
they like,
of their limbs.
You know what I'm talking about? Like where they like where like they're on, the guy's like on his stomach.
Oh, the surfboard stretch. Yeah,
is that what it is?
Made famous, and I believe possibly invented by Jushin Thunder Liger. The surfboard stretch, I believe, is what you're. Yep.
Yes, yeah, it's the surfboard stretch. That's what I was thinking of initially. I don't know why I mixed that up in the cow mutilation a lot, but I do. But do you see what I mean? It's like the way a Crunchwrap Supreme folds. It's like what their limbs are doing.
How do we get? Maybe the slam part is you just like throw them back when they land on their neck, unprotected.
Oh boy, the crunch is their bones. The crunch is all their vertebrae.
Oh, perfect. There we go, folks. The crunch is your bones. Oh, I fucked it up. But I've screwed up the actual saying of it.
Anyway, we have a card.
Oh, honestly? Okay, I'm just going to send you... Yeah, we do have a card. I found an image that would also work as a Crunchwrap Supreme, maybe. But basically, it's a move that Andrade is doing on Daniel Bryan. That
Oh yeah, I could see that. That also makes sense.
That's a
Crunchwrap Supreme.
Yeah, that's a solid Crunchwrap Supreme. Really hard to describe. I don't know how to describe it at all.
Listen. The only way we can describe it best is it looks like a Crunchwrap Supreme.
So there we go. Perfect. Moving on.
How can you got to know now?
Yeah, of course. If you don't know, this podcast isn't just about Taco Bell, even though we do talk about Taco Bell a lot. The podcast within this podcast, of course, is Talk-O Bell, but that's besides the point. This podcast is a fantasy booking podcast, like sort of like GM mode, sort of like Wrestling Universe and WWE games and whatnot. Basically, the premise being that Mikey and I are the head bookers, head writers of Raw and SmackDown. And every single week, we write our own cards individually and present them sort of like Secret Santa style to each other. We don't know what the other one's written, and we're just sort of like building over the course of time every single week until we get another pay-per-view down the line. You know, it's the whole thing of like, if you can't do it, if they're doing it bad, we'll do it better, I guess. Is that a thing? I guess that's not really a phrase, but it sounds like it could be a phrase.
Bad, we'll also do bad. Wait.
No. Mikey, you shouldn't say that because, of course, every single week, the audience can vote on whose card was better. So on every single Friday episode, we send out a tweet that will be pinned at the top of our Twitter page at HitTheBooksPod, and you, the audience, the listener, can vote to say whose card was better. Was it my version of Monday Night Raw, or is it Mikey's version of Friday Night SmackDown? And the audience has chosen Mikey yet again. And I don't want you to dunk on yourself because, boy howdy, did you win.
All right.
Mikey, SmackDown wins 77% of the vote.
The comeback, baby. Let's go.
Not only did you win, but what the hell? What did I do wrong? I thought I had a great card.
I told you that go-home show was going to be fire. I knew it.
I feel like that championship helped you even more.
I don't know. I think it was the main. I think it was the main event that brought it over the top.
The main event is pretty solid, but I had a contract signing.
So did I.
I guess that's also not as a contract signing in itself compared to that main event on SmackDown isn't as exciting.
I also had a contract signing, Ryan.
Yeah, looking at my card, maybe it wasn't the most exciting card now that looking back on it, but it needed to be done to set up for Extreme Rules. So I guess I'll eat the loss here, and hopefully don't get screwed when we roll the randomizer. But yeah, so that is basically the premise of the show. And if you want to hear more, you can always subscribe to this podcast feed. Yeah. So without further ado, are you ready to get into it, Mikey?
Yeah, let's do it.
Since I'm the loser, I will go first. We're of course coming off of Extreme Rules, folks. I've decided every single pay-per-view cycle, you can head on over to htbpod.com. That is HT, as in the books, htbpod.com.
htbpod, as in hit the books podcast.
Perfect. You can, after every pay-per-view, there's a slew of new stuff out there. You can read up every single past card that we've ever written from SummerSlam 2018 to now. You can go there. So if you want to catch up real quickly, all the past cards are there as well. Or, of course, you can download previous episodes. You can hear the audio versions of all that stuff. So, yeah, just want to give a little preface there. We just come off of Extreme Rules. If you want to know what happens, go listen to the show or go read up on it. Moving into this card. Yeah, moving into it. Moving into this card, Mikey, for Monday Night Raw. We're opening up. This is hopefully... I'm really hoping that I do well in the polls, Mikey, because big things opening up. I'm just gonna preface this. I'm gonna throw it to you every once in a while. I'll just get your thoughts. Make sure I'm doing this correctly. Maybe or we're not. Maybe I'll wait to the end. Oh, I'm nervous. Okay. R-Truth opens Raw.
Starting off strong with hard truth.
With Detective Hard Truth.
With Detective Truth with the hard truth.
That's the movie I want to see. WWE is Detective Hard Truth.
Not even just Detective Hard Truth. Just call it Hard Truth, and we talked about it. Have hard blue, but R-Truth red.
Mm-hmm. We have to make that some sort of thing. If you don't remember last week on Raw, Truth seemingly has figured out who has attacked Aleister Black. He's been being a detective on this case for a while now. He last week says he knew he did it, so he's opening up Raw to announce who he believes attacked Aleister Black. So we're finally getting the hard truth. Truth says that being detective is the hardest work he has ever done in his life, and he had to, and it's so hard compared to that one time he had to wrestle his childhood hero, John Cena. Much harder than that. Truth says that after years of searching, he has finally figured out the answer of who done it. Suddenly, the lights go out. And Aleister Black appears.
Whoa.
And he looks as furious as ever, demanding R-Truth to tell him the answer. Because, this is the first time we haven't seen Aleister Black.
It reminds me of the NXT attack.
Yes.
Real life, when he came back and Nikki Cross knew who did it, and he just came back and was like, "Tell me."
Yeah.
Swear to me.
Truth, scared and sort of begrudgingly, reveals that he attacked Aleister Black.
What?
Because it wasn't until he was staring into the mirror where he found the truth, or rather, me, R-Truth. I was the truth the whole time.
He was four guys. It was it's like the meme. It was our truth, and it was always our truth.
He was Mikey. He was trying to find the truth. He realized that he was the truth. He's our truth.
Oh my god.
He is the one that did it. And he goes on to say, "Man, I do apologize for my actions. I thought I had a good memory. I guess I forgot." Aleister Black, increasingly angry at this revelation, kicks Truth so hard in the head with the fade to black. You almost think it's shoot style.
I don't suspect it was actually R-Truth, but I guess we'll get to that.
Then the New Day walk out and tell Aleister Black that despite R-Truth They have been doing their own detective work and looking at some of the evidence.
despite all of his very hard work.
Yeah. 4 people attacked you, Aleister. Not a single person, like our Drew said. We believe that New Day are saying that we believe that 2 of those people are LLC. They're a lethal tag team, as we well know. But what's weird, of course, that we sort of realize is that LLC only sort of do stuff for money, which means that the likelihood of them doing it, someone paying them off, is probably high. And then Lashley and Cesaro do come out and jump the 4 men in the ring.
Oh no!
When things are looking pretty rough for the New Day in Black, the Usos, like they have been doing in the past, have run down to the ring with chairs, and they run off Lashley and Cesaro.
All right.
After a brief stare down, the Usos turn and start attacking the New Day and Aleister Black with those steel chairs. Lashley and Cesaro come back in, and the 4 beat down Black and the New Day. Then Roman Reigns slowly walks out from the entrance to a chorus of boos. I hope I have accomplished. He gets on the mic and says, "I did it." And the Usos and LLC continue to beat down the 4 of them. And
it was Roman all along.
And LLC leave together.
It was Roman Reigns all along. Roman paid off LLC and the Usos.
Or at the very least, LLC had got his cousins in on the deal.
Unbelievable. Roman got people to...
Yes.
Roman set it up. Roman Reigns heel turn. Never thought I would ever see the day.
Yes. I have done it.
Bold move, Ryan.
I have done it. Mikey, tell me.
Very
thoughts.
bold move.
Thoughts.
Very bold move. I did not expect Usos and LLC to be teaming up here. I did not expect Roman to be the the conductor of all of this. That's wild how we got them together. It's wild how everyone's suspicions were true this whole time.
Yeah. Dang it.
No one ever thought Good Boy Roman would get it. It's like, no way. Roman's too much of a babyface. He would never. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so the question for you, Mikey, immediately I have is, how did I do on this angle? Like, looking at the whole thing,
There were so many swerves. There was always that part of it that's like, oh, it's definitely LLC, but like, why was there 4 guys? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. The Usos, I never would have expected to get involved, and I had a feeling Roman might have been paying off the LLC, but like, after all the investigations and Roman constantly denying it, I was maybe questioning myself. I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't Roman, but it turns out it was the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Yes. Yeah, to talk about it, I guess, is that, I at several moments, whenever I asked you questions, I was like, am I doing a good job? And you were like, yeah, I feel like it's Roman. I kept thinking to myself, shit, yeah, people keep thinking it's Roman. I need to find ways to...
Because he had the most motive. It was like, just like there was
so
no
clear.
other... Yeah, it was like the only person who would realistically attack him. Like, he had the most to gain from all of it.
Yeah, and I did not do a good job setting up potential other suspects, so I had to like devise ways to get there, which part of it was using R-Truth and his nonsense to showcase other people.
Fair enough.
And then I purposely had an interaction with I had to introduce the idea that LLC only do things if they're paid, having that whole angle with them and King Corbin. Mm-hmm. Which I also use King Corbin to showcase that King Corbin pays LLC to do things. So hopefully maybe people will think King Corbin was the one that did this whole thing. Mm-hmm. But of course he didn't get anything out of it, so who knows? Yeah, and then I did the whole angle of the 4 people, because at that point I was like, it's going to be Roman and it's going to be the Usos. The Usos are going to be the other 2 people. And... what was the last part? Oh yeah. And then another reason I decided, like, I knew at this point, Mikey, that I'm going to turn Roman heel, and I had to figure out how to get there. And you know what? I used a character that I don't like in reality. I used the Fiend to help me out.
Interesting.
Because as many people discuss online, the Fiend, when you fight the Fiend, when you lose to the Fiend, most people sort of their personalities sort of change after the fact.
Brings out the worst in people.
So I did a whole angle with Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt leading up to this Extreme Rules match where the Fiend wins, just so the next night I can turn Roman heel. Right?
Incredible.
So yeah, that's
all the pieces fall into place.
Yes, a rough start probably, but I hopefully it was a strong finish.
I like it.
But of course,
I like Truth proclaiming it to himself.
Yeah.
First. He's like, I was all 4 people. It was me.
Because I'm the Truth. Yeah, literally, I was like writing this. I was like, man, Truth's an idiot. Writing this in. But yeah, so there's the reveal. Of course, the story's not over, but that's the real reveal, baby. Moving in out of the show opener. We got the rest of the Raw show here. Moving into match number 1, it is going to be Intercontinental Championship title match. After Sheamus won it at Extreme Rules in that triple threat, he's going to defend it against the person who lost it. You know, it's not I guess it's not necessarily a rematch clause. It's just the fact that he lost it in a triple threat. So I'm just sort of giving it to him one more time. Sheamus versus John Morrison for the Intercontinental Championship, and Sheamus gets the victory.
All right.
Backstage segment, camera. We cut backstage and we see the camera is running behind Naomi, who is running around backstage, and she's running towards a downed Bianca Belair.
Oh no.
Naomi asks Belair what happened, and Belair says that she was jumped from behind by Shayna Baszler.
Whoa.
You know, and Naomi, of course, looks upset and starts helping up Bianca Belair.
That's fair.
Moving into the next match, it's Elias versus King Corbin.
Classic.
Where Elias gets the victory.
Nice.
Yes. Start off just normal. We had a big storyline reveal at the beginning, and we're just doing some solid, tiny matches, tiny stake sort of. I say tiny stakes, but we had a title match, I guess.
Oh yeah, all of my storytelling is in segments this week.
That's fair. You're coming off an Extreme Rules. You kind of have to coming off of a pay-per-view. Especially like a pay-per-view like Extreme Rules, where it's like you're building up to like the climax of like weapon usage and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Next, we get a backstage interview with Sheamus, where he is asked about finally accomplishing his dream on becoming a Grand Slam champion. Sheamus says that it's probably the biggest accomplishment in his career. I've been in this business for over 13 years, and I've only challenged for the IC title 5 times. It's ridiculous. I deserve this belt from the start, not people like John Morrison, not The Miz. I am the man that deserves this gold. I'm not getting rid of it anytime soon. Mark my words, fella.
All right.
So, yes. Sort of celebrating in the fact that he is a Grand Slam champion, but is sort of upset in the fact that this hasn't happened sooner.
That's fair.
Next up, we get a singles match between Naomi versus Shayna Baszler. Looks like Naomi got a match approved after that run-in a couple segments ago. But sadly, Shayna Baszler, or I guess not sadly for her, but a win for Shayna Baszler against Naomi here.
Sad for the WWE Universe, but happy for Shayna.
Yeah, happy for Shayna. Shayna Baszler gets the victory.
All right.
Next up, we got a recap of Extreme Rules, which, of course, you can listen to on this podcast feed. Just literally go, if you listen to it, you just scroll up or down, however it is on the thing you're listening to, and listen to Extreme Rules. It's a good pay-per-view. I thought it was honestly thought it was a really, really good episode. We tried something different, which we didn't talk about beforehand, but we just did it as we were doing it. We tried something a little bit different and just sort of like discussing actual like booking plans and why we did things. And I thought it was a good, interesting idea. And of course, just wanted to add an extra little highlight to the Extreme Rules video package, which is the WWE Championship match, Brock Lesnar, Keith Lee with the AJ Styles interference.
All right.
Next up, we get a tag match. The Women's Tag Team Championships Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley in a non-title match against Natalya and Carmella. You know, former roster members of the what was that stable that they did in SmackDown? It was the welcoming committee, right?
Something like that, yeah.
The welcoming committee, Natalya and Carmella and Tamina, and I think James Ellsworth. That was the fourth one. And of course, in this one, the Women's Tag Team Champions get the win. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley win. Right. During the match, I should say, we see Bliss and Jax watching the match backstage, of course. After the match, Rhea Ripley grabs the stick, gets on the mic, and says that she knows Alexa Bliss is watching this match from the back. Oh my God, I'm losing my words. Why? Because she's scared of us, and especially scared of me. Luckily for you, Bliss, you don't have to wait that long. Next week, I'm coming for your Raw Women's Championship.
Next week?
Yes. So if you remember that sort of tag to the Extreme Rules Women's Tag Team Championship, if Morgan and Ripley got the win, they can individually challenge for the Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley cashing it in next week.
That's awesome.
Moving into the main event match. We also have a main event segment, but a main event match. Fun little tag match here, Mikey. Keith Lee and Daniel Bryan.
Ooh, already loving it.
Versus AJ Styles and Andrade.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Yeah, baby. And in this match, the main event win goes to Styles and Andrade. After the match, Andrade beats down Bryan yet again. Shorty G makes the save again. Bryan raises Shorty G's hand after the match, just reminding you that, hey, Shorty G and Bryan, they're a thing, apparently.
Interesting.
That wasn't just a one-off save. But Styles and Andrade get that win.
Is this pure version 2.0?
Potentially.
I love it.
And then the main event actual segment here, announced last week, it was the Peep Show with Edge.
Oh, right.
Christian welcomes, of course, all of his peeps to another episode of the Peep Show. And what better way to return than with his best friend, the WWE Hall of Famer, Edge. Edge comes out, does the whole pyro thing and whatnot, big pop. Edge thanks Christian and everything, and they do their old gimmicks and the kazoos.
The 5-second pose.
Of course, yeah.
Kazoos.
Christian eventually asks Edge, after they get all that stuff out of the way, asks Edge why he wanted to come out to the Peep Show. Edge says that he has an announcement to make. It turns out, as I'm reading this, I did not finish writing the rest of the segment, so I'm going to make it up on the fly real quickly. Before he can make the announcement, Seth Rollins and the Disciples come out.
Ooh, whoa.
Rollins tells Edge that he is actually glad to see Edge back. This is the point where I stopped writing this segment, and now I'm going to make it up, the rest of it, on the fly. I have it in my brain, folks. I just have to come up with words. Rollins tells Edge that he is actually glad to see Edge back. Not only that, but glad to see him hanging out on the Peep Show. And he says that it's funny because the last time that Seth Rollins and Edge were both on the Peep Show, Rollins was about to curb stomp the rest of his career out of his head or something. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I'm not good at freestyling the promos here, Mikey. But we're reminding the audience that, hey, remember on the Peep Show when I was about to break your neck? Maybe Rollins cuts to a picture or whatever. They have some exchange of words. And Edge basically says that his announcement, after a lot of fervor and excitement from Edge, or anger from Edge, I should say, is that his announcement is that he is confirming that he is returning for another match at SummerSlam. And it's funny that you brought it up, Rollins, because he's confirmed with the officials that at SummerSlam he gets to finally get his hands on Seth Rollins.
I love it. Edge versus Seth Rollins. What a dream match.
Yes, so the announcement is official announcement of the match at SummerSlam. Edge versus Seth Rollins. Oh boy, baby. That's
my angle and my devil.
My angle and my devil. How dare you? Yeah, so that's the card. A fine card, I do say so myself. A little
I like it.
Mess up at the end there for not forgetting to write down the rest of the promo, but that's fine, I guess. We're building up, like I said, Extreme Rules was sort of like establishing some sort of things here, and so we had to start sort of new things and go different directions and sort of, head different ways. And try and all build towards SummerSlam.
Awesome. Well, speaking of mess ups, Ryan, it is time that I mess you up with the randomizer.
You've stolen my title, the King of Transitions. If you don't know, folks, like I said at the top of the show, I already started at the top of the show. If you don't know, why'd you skip it? Why'd you skip it?
Come on, guys.
You voted. I lost. I get hit with the randomizer. Mikey ruins my butt.
Yes. And Ryan, we got another interesting one for you.
A good interesting one or a bad interesting one?
I would say it's good all around. But were you looking to make your roster any bigger, Ryan? Because you got another rookie call-up.
Wait, no, Mikey. That's a good thing.
Choose an NXT roster member on the not yet list and include them in your roster.
Mikey, no. That's a good thing. You get the rookie call-up.
Oh, I get the rookie call-up.
Yeah, bad things happen to me. Good things happen to you. You get a rookie call-up, my dude.
Interesting. Okay.
Holy crap. What? What? Rookie call-up. You get to... I'll set it up as you look at the thing. You choose... We have a list of NXT roster members that are on the not yet list. Basically, that's just like people that... that are, on, maybe they haven't made their debut on NXT TV or were called back down or whatever reason. We just sort of felt like they're not quite there yet to maybe make it. I got Dave Mastiff off this list a couple weeks ago and who's now joined, who's currently a Raw Tag Team Champion like 2 days or 5 weeks after he debuted. So yeah, Mikey can go through this entire list and pick whoever we like. I guess, Mikey, do you have anyone right off the bat, or do you mean to set up even further?
I have an idea, but this is interesting. I never thought I would ever have to pick from this list. But it's a very cool list.
It's a great list.
Look, we got Breezango up in here. We got the HTV classic Kona Reeves.
That only we know. Can we talk about Kona Reeves real quick?
Okay. So real quick sidebar on that. When we were doing test episodes.
Oh, actually, you know what? I'm actually going to go through this list now that I'm seeing some names.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm highlighting?
Yeah.
Yep. Gonna delete that. And
yep.
I'm just going to quickly go through some of these names.
Yeah. Let's before we continue, let's just knock some names off of this just in case.
You talk about Kona Reeves as I
Kona Reeves.
I'm just going to tell the audience real quick. There's a couple NXT UK roster members on here. Haven't been updated, if you know what I mean.
Kona Reeves has been kind of a funny name in Hit the Books because when we first started, we did some test episodes before we actually got rolling on the podcast. For real.
We did like maybe 4 test episodes and then a pay-per-view or something.
Yeah, I think we did 4 test episodes and then our test pay-per-view SummerSlam. Funny enough.
Yes, I believe it was.
So we did our test pay-per-view and I think it was at SummerSlam on our randomizer. We got an NXT call-up. So we had to call up a random person from the NXT roster at SummerSlam, and it turned out it was Kona Reeves.
Yes.
So we had to somehow work Kona Reeves into our SummerSlam pay-per-view card, who just got called up that day, and boy, was it a wild time.
Yeah, yeah, I wasn't, expecting that to happen, honestly. I was just like, oh, Kona Reeves. Huh. What do we do here?
Interesting. Like I said, there's definitely some interesting names on this list. Like, we got Killian Dane. We got Kona Reeves, the classic. We got Tony Nese. We got Piper Niven. We got Xia Brookside. Casey Catanzaro. Yeah. We got some. We got Breezango, which is who used to be already on the main roster. We got some big names on here, so I'm excited to pick from this list. Ryan, I think I have my pick from the not yet list.
Okay, yeah, it's a very long list. There's a lot of good names on here. I'm very interested to see what you got here, Mikey. Who do you think about getting, Mikey?
So, out of all the people on this list, there's one that jumps out to me, and I know I already have a pretty strong women's division, but it's about to get even better because I pick Piper Niven.
Oh, Piper Niven. Why are you picking Piper Niven?
I think she's awesome. That's basically it.
just flat. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
Wow. Mikey's about to have a stacked women's division. He's going to have what?
About to?
Wow.
Bro, I got Bayley. I got Sasha Banks. I got Charlotte Flair. Come at me.
You're going to have 13 women on your roster.
I got Candice LeRae. We got Piper Niven now. SmackDown's women's division is lit. We got the Iconics. We got Ruby Riott. We got Asuka.
You're with this, Mikey, you are going to have more women on your roster than me. And two of the women on my roster are Lana and Zelina Vega, who are basically managers. So, yeah, you got a pretty stacked division over there.
Yeah, I do. I'm stoked.
Well, congratulations then. Piper Niven joining the Blue brand. I get Dave Mastiff, you get Piper Niven. I think that's a pretty good line.
We got a couple of good rookie call-ups.
Good, solid rookie call-up. Why is Piper Niven on this? Because she's been in the UK TV show for a little bit, but not like a huge amount. I think it's a little bit of a rookie call-up.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I think solid choice, Mikey. I think that's a very solid choice.
Thank you. Now that I've done that.
Yeah, now that you've profited off of the randomizer, profited off the fans.
Let's get into the SmackDown lineup.
Yes, please. Are you going to introduce Piper Niven at all in the show in any capacity?
Not in this one because I was not ready for it.
Fair enough.
Next one, for sure. So, we open up SmackDown Live this week with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, baby.
The one, the only, the Hunter, Drew McIntyre. He says, on Sunday I had the hunt.
He's killed Ricochet and stolen his nickname.
On Sunday I had the hunt of a lifetime. After all this time, something I thought I'd finished long ago came back to haunt me. At Extreme Rules, I finally rid myself of my demons.
Nice.
And now I have a new trophy in mind. Randy Orton, your time has come. And now with your little crony out of the way, there's nothing you can do to stop me from achieving greatness when I take that universal title you've held for so long away from you. You better watch out. You better watch your back, Randy, because the hunt is on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to hear. Oh, man, that's beautiful, Mikey.
Drew McIntyre making it clear who his next target is, and it's Randy Orton and that Universal title.
Yes, makes sense. I wanted to talk about that real quickly about your McIntyre Orton feud.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I was prepping up the rankings, the updated rankings for the Hit the Books universe, which you can go check at hdbpod.com/archive. Go to the rankings tab.
Quick plugs.
So McIntyre's number 1 on your power rankings,
as per usual.
Randy Orton's number 5. Randy Orton's been number 5 for a little bit. The rankings are basically based on like your win-loss record, your quality of wins, and your placement on the card. So just like an overall scope. But
Drew McIntyre has been SmackDown's number 1 draw for like 2 years running and hasn't stopped.
Basically. Or at the very least, since we've started here, he's been the number 1 since for 3 months.
He's been the number 1 for so long. It's kind of ridiculous how dominant Drew McIntyre is in this division.
when I was putting the stuff together, when it comes to like the quality of wins, it's like, which also sort of has the relationship of like, if you win, you get higher up on the thing. But basically, it's like whose wins matter most, who's like the top star of your promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 for SmackDown, to a bullet, Drew McIntyre. Number 2, Randy Orton.
Oh, baby.
They are, 7 points apart.
The money makers, man.
Yeah, literally, basically what I'm trying to say, Mikey, this is your hottest match going at SummerSlam.
I'm so excited.
Your hottest match is right here, McIntyre Orton.
Man, I gotta give it to him, right? Like, it's just so good, and I'm gonna, obviously.
And weirdly enough, number 3 for you is Akira Tozawa, and I don't know why.
One Nation, baby.
Akira Tozawa, October 2019, just at, normal, and he's just been slowly getting wins forever.
One Nation, baby.
Let me see if I can see what his Akira Tozawa is. 12-7-1.
Damn.
Like what? He's been like pretty much on more than he's been card placement percentage. Basically 100% means he's been in every main event of every sort of pay-per-view. He's 60%, so he's basically on every second half of the card on every pay-per-view he's been on.
One Nation, take it over, man.
I was like, why is Akira Tozawa so high here?
All right, so that was our show opener.
Yeah, so yes, get me back
on topic. Drew McIntyre calling out Randy Orton. Next up, match number 1, Candice LeRae versus Billie Kay, in which Candice LeRae picks up the victory. It's a quick women's match. Candice LeRae getting the win. You know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Our next segment is a backstage interview with the new United States champion, Pete Dunne. They ask him how it feels to be the new United States champion, and before Pete Dunne gets a chance to speak, Samoa Joe steps in the frame and grabs the mic. Yeah, Pete, how does it feel to get lucky? Look, at Extreme Rules, that's all it was. You got lucky. You got lucky that I underestimated you. Now, I don't plan on making that mistake again. So how about a rematch?
Ooh.
Me and you tonight for that. Joe points at the United States title. Dunne says, "You're on."
Samoa Joe points at a nice apple pie.
From catering.
Nice apple pie that Pete Dunne's holding.
Dunne says, "You're on." And when I win again, hopefully I'll shut your mouth for good.
Oh.
So our main event tonight is Pete Dunne versus Samoa Joe for the United States Championship.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's a solid pick right there, baby.
After that, we have our match number 2, which is Humberto Carrillo versus Jeff Hardy, in which Humberto Carrillo gets the win after hitting Jeff Hardy with 2 finishers.
Holy crap.
Staying on that aggressive streak, man.
Jeff Hardy cannot catch a break.
And Humberto Carrillo is getting more aggressive.
But to actually catch a break, he's like, oh, Humberto Carrillo 3-4, actually trying to start catching breaks. Now he's 4-4. Jeff Hardy just sucks.
Jeff Hardy needs to step it up.
What is he?
I need to step it up for Jeff Hardy.
Currently, he's 1-10.
Damn. So next up is a video package with Ruby Riott sitting on a throne wearing a crown, surrounded by the members of Undisputed Era. She says, well, Charlotte, turns out it was time for a new era of SmackDown to begin. You're old news now, Flair. Now that I run this division, I have my sights set on a bigger picture. We have our sights set on a bigger picture. So SmackDown, you better watch your back because we're going to absolutely dominate this brand. Adam Cole chimes in and says, now that is undisputed. And they all do the UE taunt.
Nice.
And that ends the video package.
I like it. Of course I like it because this whole reason you got Ruby Riott doing this is simply because I made you do it.
Because of you. It's because of you.
The randomizer allowed me to change it. Ruby Riott gets the win. We get a great video package out of it. We got giving me Reptile Tribe vibes from Lucha Underground. with Undisputed Era. Weirdly, they invited her into the group, and now she's a queen sitting on a throne, and they're like a bunch of lackeys. So maybe one of these days.
Well, she's the queen. She's the queen because she beat the queen.
I guess that's. I mean, yeah, I get this situation here, Mikey. I'm just saying that Adam Cole's probably gonna be like one day, be like, wait, what the fuck? What did we?
When did I lose control of this?
What happened? What happened here?
Next up, we have a match between Sasha Banks and Mandy Rose, in which Sasha Banks gets the victory, but she does it all on her own this time. No lights going out, no anything like that. And Sasha clearly looks a little more confident this match. She seems like her head's getting back in the game. You know.
I was about to say, like, what's different? Does she do any different moves, or is it just like a different motivation, confidence sort of issue?
It just looks like she's getting her groove back. You know.
Sasha got her groove back. I see.
After that match, Sasha heads back to her locker room after a big win against Mandy Rose and finds another note in her locker that simply says, "Congratulations, I knew you can do it." Sasha looks confused, but also appreciative.
Oh,
it's nice to have validation.
What a director's note. Appreciative.
After that, we have match number 4 between Undisputed Era, which is Fish and O'Reilly versus Birch and Lorcan, in which Fish and O'Reilly pick up the victory.
Is that the official end of this feud?
Probably. Since you kind of went off the ground, but then I had to cut some matches, and it was like,
yeah.
So it didn't really went anywhere.
We lost the Fish Lorcan match because you had to replace it with Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe for the title.
What a bummer. After that match, we have another backstage interview with Bayley about her successful title defense at Extreme Rules. And Bayley says, "I want to start off by saying, Asuka, you have nothing to be ashamed of. We put on an awesome match, and you are one of the fiercest competitors on SmackDown. But still, I showed Asuka and the rest of the WWE Universe that I could hold my own in any scenario. I'm a fighter, and I plan on holding this title for a long, long time. And under any circumstances. So hit me with your best shot. I'll be ready."
I like it. She's showing respect here.
Mm-hmm.
Showing respect here. I like it. It makes sense. Potentially a face turn, but you can never go wrong with showing respect.
Yeah.
There was something that happened in real life on the actual SmackDown show because I was bored one Friday because I'm in a pandemic and there's nothing else to do. So I turned on Friday Night SmackDown.
It's not a possible face turn because Bayley's already face in my universe.
Oh, is she? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bayley never went heel in my universe. Well, I think I turned her back at one point and she never went back to heel.
Oh, turns out I'm the fool.
Yeah, Bayley's been face for a little while.
Oh, okay then. Well, then never mind. Ignore what I'm saying. Ignore me forever.
After that backstage segment, we have our main event, Pete Dunne versus Samoa Joe for the United States Championship, in which Pete Dunne gets the victory and defends his United States Championship. But after the match, while Pete Dunne is celebrating, he gets jumped by Undisputed Era.
What?
Who all beat him down. And after they do that, Roderick Strong walks over to the United States Championship, holds it above his head, and drops it back on Pete Dunne. And Era leave with their statement made as SmackDown comes to a close.
Yeah. Solid title defense from Pete Dunne. Solid. Yeah. Solid title defense by Pete Dunne here. Against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's either moving on to something else next week or going to be on the back burner for a second.
I think that's what this match was for, was to finally like put this to bed,
Yeah, why do you think I did the title match between Sheamus and John Morrison?
Yeah. Like,
you got to move on.
Just put it to bed, move each person on to their next feud, and we obviously see who Pete Dunne's next opponent might be in Roderick Strong.
Yeah, I was about to say, solid challenge here. It honestly could have been any one of those members to challenge Pete Dunne. You would have had a great match out of any 4 members, or 4 male members, I should say, of Undisputed Era. Mm-hmm. Solid pick. I like it. I like a solid. if that is your SummerSlam match, I'm excited. What if instead it's going to be a fatal 5-way where it's going to be the 4 male members of Undisputed Era versus Pete Dunne. They're all against each other.
It's a championship scramble match, Ryan.
And then we're going to throw in Drake Maverick as well, just so we can have a chyron that says Drake Maverick.
Drake Maverick is the WWE champion.
Current Universal Champion, Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick, the champion of the universe. I like it. I thought that was a solid card here, Mikey.
Thank you.
Yeah, coming off Extreme Rules, like I said at the beginning, coming off of a pay-per-view is always slightly weird, slightly difficult, because you're always sort of what do I?
You got to finish off the old feuds and start some new ones. So it's like a weird combination of promos and different matches to build new people, and yeah.
Yeah, I think you had a solid promo at the start there, solid finish as well, and everything else I also pretty much liked, Mm-hmm. Oh, Mandy Rose. I was going to say, Mandy Rose also can't catch a break.
Oh, yeah, I have a good women's division, but there's definitely some jobbers, and it sucks, and I need to make that stop happening.
Mandy Rose currently, after this episode, 2-12.
It's yeah, it's rough.
Mandy Rose, yeah, I get you. You
can't push everybody at once, I guess, but I've been pushing the same people since I started, so maybe I should start changing lanes here.
Yeah, mix it up. It's tough because you're also going for SummerSlam and you want to put on the best match you have.
Yeah.
No, I get you. It's I have Lucha House Party sitting there. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with Lucha House Party. And obviously with my women's division, with Becky Lynch gone, that literal linchpin, my women's division. I don't remember what I did, but I feel like Becky Lynch probably was my number 1 draft pick or something. Oh no, she was champion, so I automatically got her because she was champion.
Right.
But I was trying to build a division around her that I lost her. I'm like, what am I going to do? So I'm sort of not really pushing anyone specifically, but also everyone at the same time. And then, the men's division is just sort of there's people I'm trying to figure out a way to push Elias, but I'm I don't know what I'm going to do with Elias.
What am I going to do with Elias?
But then you also got Titus O'Neil and Bo Dallas, and what are they doing?
Fair enough.
But yeah, I like it. Solid card there, Mikey. Solid card.
Thank you.
And of course, that's the end of this week's episode of Hit the Books. If you liked either of these cards, whether it be Raw, which had the Peep Show in the main event segment slot with the announcement of Rollins versus Edge at SummerSlam, or SmackDown with the main event match of United States Championship Pete Dunne defending his title against Samoa Joe, and then Roderick Strong going after the title after the fact. If you liked either of those, you can vote on which card you liked better by going to @HitTheBooksPod on Twitter and voting in the pinned tweet poll at the top. You can vote on Raw, you can vote on SmackDown. Whoever gets the victory, or I should say, rather, whoever loses will get the randomizer dunked on them next episode. So stay tuned for that. Or at the very least, go vote for that. You can also listen to next week's episode by subscribing. Making sure if you subscribe, you make sure you get it automatically into your podcast feed when it drops, whenever it drops, at the very least on Friday. So look for that. Subscribe now to make sure you get that. Or at the very least, you can listen to other shows as well. We also have Wrestling and Statistics, which come out every Monday. What else, Mikey?
Go check out our YouTube channel. You could go subscribe there and watch all of the video versions of our podcast. And also, we have our 2K outcomes on there and all of our pay-per-view reviews and stuff. So go check out our YouTube channel, subscribe there, Hit the Books Podcast. And don't forget to leave that 5 or 6 star review. You can leave 5 6-star reviews or 6 5-star reviews over on iTunes.
Yes.
Either way, we appreciate it.
Yes, please go to iTunes. Please do a review. We would greatly appreciate it.
How you like the show, guys?
Yes, tell us you like the show, and we'll shout you out in the process. We would greatly appreciate it. More reviews means more. It gets higher up on the charts, which means more people can find the show, which means we can last even longer.
And more votes on the poll to see who gets randomized.
Yeah, it takes 1 minute out of your day, maybe 30 seconds out of your day, and it can help us completely in the long run. And just one last thing. You can go to hdbpod.com. Like I said, it's been slightly updated with new stuff, so you can go back, read up on all of the past 5 or 6 episodes, those 5 episodes in the Extreme Rules card. You can read up on those so you can get all the updated information. Plus, we have all of the old cards, so there's a huge archive there. And I also updated the rankings, like I said during this episode. Mikey, current number 1 for you is McIntyre, who's been number 1 for 3 pay-per-views. I got the whole list there. Number 1 for Raw, Shayna Baszler, who's been number 1 for 2 pay-per-views in a row. You can listen to view the rest of those superstars who are in that top 10 list there. Also, you can go see the updated championship history. We have another pay-per-view. We've had more titles change hands. So go over to that tab, the championship history tab, to see the updated history since we diverted at SummerSlam in 2018. Very comprehensive list. So go check that out as well.
Indeed, do that.
And I think that is it, Mikey. So for Mikey, I have been Ryan. Thank you everybody so much for listening to this week's episode of Hit the Books podcast. We'll be back with all new episode next week. And until then, we've got 2 words for you. Book it.